Woo! All right. So, complicated. I'm trying to do something new, and I realized that I never pushed the live button for... Hello, welcome to Office Hours, YouTube. I am an idiot. So I usually use Restream, but Restream is kind of weird with the new YouTube streaming rules and like how YouTube streaming some function works. So it's a little different. So I'm trying to instead stream from both to Twitch and to YouTube at the same time using XSplit. So, hi, all 9 of you. Welcome to the Office Hours. If you've never been here before, we talk about lore mostly, but we talk about Star Citizen in general. Like, the whole purpose of Galactic Story and Office Hours was originally to just kind of talk about lore. But as people kind of just talk about other things, so. Let me refresh this. Yeah, I'll worry about that later. I'll just jump back and forth. Nighthawk, thank you so much for that subscription for 23 months. Service is giving out a lot of 30Ks. I am currently in the game right now. I've been in here for about an hour. Just setting this up, just because I wanted to kind of show off the IAE a little bit. Rest I'm in my Invictus flight jacket because it's the best flight jacket, and of course I'm rocking the best manufacturer in the Star Citizen verse. Drake, fight me. Can't fight trash. Ouch. Ouch. So yeah, as I was saying about my first impressions of the Nomad, I'll also go over this for those of you who are watching on YouTube as well. Oh yeah, I gotta go to. But the Nomad, you definitely need to update the game because it's the new patch just came out. But the Nomad is well. Before I go to the Nomad, what I was saying is we just released a video on smuggling. It's the update to 3.11. Not a lot has changed in smuggling except in terms of like the same kind of recommendations, the same kind of sizes for ships and everything like that is still the same, which basically means that the MSR is really not a good smuggler right now. It's not terrible. Like, you can smuggle in a Connie. I mean, it's really like there's really no difference between any of the ships, except that's the problem. The Connie and the MSR are about the same in terms of viability for smuggling. Now, as of the recording of that video, the fuel was still kind of wonky. I'm sure they fixed it, but it's still like it's too big. The reality is that right now smuggling in Star Citizen is much more about small quantities of high value, and the small quantities we're talking about is in some cases as low as 2 SCU. At most, it's 10 SCU. So, and there's only really 3 things that can make you money. Now, down the line, when smuggling becomes more viable, when they add more commodities, when they add more nuance to that gameplay, I'm sure that'll come in with things like improvements to like when they actually make the cargo decks worthwhile. When that happens, then I could see the MSR becoming much more of her, like becoming the queen of smuggling, as I said. But right now it's really not the case. And so at the time of that video, when I made that video to release it, the Cutlass was still the best. And, you know, you had the Cutlass and then the lowest small, I would say the 315p. The Nomad, I think, is the new king of I call it this. I said it prince. I'm using royal terms. It's the prince of smuggling. It's not something you're going to want to use long term, and it's definitely not something that'll function very well in 3 patches. But it 100% is the new smuggling ship. Of course, I'm not going to ask. I mean, I'm sorry. It's very aspiring of it for it to be a smuggling ship, you know. I'm not gonna beat around the bush anymore. It's the ASP, guys. like I'm not gonna sit here and be like CIG is creatively bankrupt. They have no nah. I'm not gonna ding on CIG, but like CIG uses references. They use references for everything they do. 100% this is inspired by the ASP. Now, CIG will never come out and say it because they also don't want Frontier Developments to sue them, but just like Elite Dangerous, or just like Eve, I'm sure what'll happen is Elite will make a tongue-in-cheek, hey, it looks really good. It was good when we made it in the 80s, you know, but it's a Space El Camino, yeah. And I will still argue with Vertigo. Vertigo said it's terrible because it's exterior. And the same thing with Diablo said. But no. You making logic out of this, Nomad? Yes. Don't try to fix? Okay. Hot take, the MSR is not a good ship. The doors are too fiddly, which makes it a pain and to navigate, and it doesn't offer any functionality. Right now, no. I would say it's not a bad ship. I would say it's a better ship than the Connie. I still think it's a better ship than the Connie in almost every single way, shape, and form. But it's not better than the Connie in terms of functionality. The thing that'll nail the coffin for the Connie is going to be the Corsair. When the Nomad and when the Corsair and the Star Runner are both out, the Connie is superfluous. There's no point to it. It ends up in the 300 bin, where the 300, for those of you who are new, the 300 was once the role for the kind of in between. If you wanted a fighter but you didn't want a Hornet, you'd get a 300. So like the 300 and 325A was that kind of in between. And then they released the Gladius, and then they'll release the Buccaneer, and then they released the Arrow. You can see where this is going. The ship became completely pointless. And it took a rework with them adding better internal cargo bays and just like buffing the weapons and that kind of thing to really make it a more viable option. It's still a sleeper. I think a lot of people sleep on it, but it's mostly just like aesthetics now. But I think it's going to be better than you think when everything comes tallied, the way they've designed it. But I think the Connie needs that. It needs the 300 treatment. It needs the Cutlass treatment almost. That's another reference. For those guys who don't know, the Cutlass used to be total garbage, absolute dog shit, and then it went through a facelift and a makeover, completely rechanged what it was, and that's how we got the Buccaneer, and it's become the darling that we have now. So, what about the Snub Fighter? The Snub Fighter is great. I will 100% defend the concept of the Snub Fighter. It's not that the Snub Fighter isn't what makes the Connie bad. What makes the Connie bad is the Connie. Hey, Black to Burn, how you doing, buddy? Just more Origin hating? What do you mean, Black Dreamhunk? I like Origin. I like 300. The 300 is a great ship. I still like the Freelancer. It's still my favorite ship in the game. 100% the Freelancer is my favorite ship in the game. It's a viable smuggler, but it's too slow. Like, the current gameplay, the way things work, the Freelancer is just not a very good overall choice. And it was garbage, yeah. Typical for straight to flyable ships to have LCI, but there's always a chance for a big nope. Yep, true. What a beast the MSR is. It's a Chevy big block with 4-barrel carb. Watch the gas gauge go down. Yeah. But the Connie Balls is better than the Connie. Yes, it is. Hands down. The Connie elevator might be next to the bridge, but it's the greatest. It's its greatest ass. Yeah. Ooh. I think honestly, the Connie. I don't think CIG can get away with the Connie not getting an overhaul. The Connie's big advantage is its turrets. If I was in CIG, and I'm not, let's just make that very clear. I do not work for CIG, and they're probably going to disagree with me anyways, but that's okay. This is my pitch. John Crew, right? John Crew's the guy who's in charge of it. John, Paul, good to meet you. John, the Connie needs a rework. It has no purpose in game right now. The point of it is supposed to be that it is a gunship, right? That's its role. That's its kind of envisioning. It has those nice big turrets centrally located. Very good. It has some more flexibility, but that's its main combat role. Not saying that anything else is bad with it. I'm just saying that if it's principally a gunship that has other functionalities to it, it does a terrible job at being a gunship. What it needs is bigger turrets. And I'm not saying much. I'm saying you're probably going to have to redo some of the hull a little bit. But if you give that big central area where you have the beds, if you move the guns back a little bit to that central area, and you expand those guns so they're not size 2s, but size 4s, 2 size 4s or even size 3s for each turret in a centrally located position. Now the Connie can rotate around a target, and it can the gunners can take care of the problem. Meanwhile, the Connie still has guns on it. I wouldn't give it size 3s or size 4s that it currently has. I would give it size 2s for the main guns because it still has missiles and such. But that's it. It will require some remodeling. But the ship is old. It's one of the oldest ships in the game. It needs an overhaul. Connie Balls. MSR escapes. Corsair hits hunts and ambushes. Oh, Connie Brawls, yeah. In a perfect world, yeah. Size 3 on the turrets would be nice. Yes. Yeah, that's what I mean. Because it's still locked up in the turrets, it becomes a smaller version of the Hammerhead. And because it's centrally located, all it requires is the pilot to kind of rotate. And if something gets in front of him, he's still got gun targets and he's got missiles that he can deal with. He can use to deal with the problem. He or she. But the turrets, the turrets, that's where its main firepower should be. That's its strength, is those turrets. The problem is that you couldn't just you couldn't just up the size of the turrets in the current Connie because it's designed to barely fit the guns. So you would need to completely reshape how the turrets work. So pushing the beds forward to where the turrets currently are, or moving everything forward a little bit, and then moving those turrets back to that area between the front bridge area and the back cargo area, and then increasing the size of those turrets and improving the turrets because the bottom turret is still garbage and needs to be fixed. The flip turret would be better. It would be great. It would turn a ship that has no purpose to being a dangerous weapon in the hands of the right person. That's my pitch. Like or take it. You mean what do you mean the ship we don't name? Odin was a dumb name for it. It wasn't the Odin. I like that it's Perseus. It makes more sense. Aquila needs a floor for more purpose and replace the cargo bay in the same way the Phoenix. Kind of. I don't like the cargo bay. I think the cargo bay, it's not a bad idea. It's just, it's awkward. The ship itself was built for a different game. You know, the Connie, like the original Freelancer, like the original Hornet, like the original Aurora, was built for a different game than we have right now. It's not fundamentally broken. It's just, it needs rework. And that's what I mean. Gunsing. I don't know why my green screen's sucking ass today, but that's what I mean. Is that the Connie is bad, not because the Connie is bad, but because it loses its competitive edge. Nah, I don't think you upsize the Connie to a Carrack. That's a bad call. That is a bad call. It needs to be the same, stay about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger. But not much. It's the size isn't the problem with the Connie. The engines and the shields are a huge problem with it. But the other problem is that people fly it like a fighter, and it's not a fighter, it's a gunship. So you need to mentally switch people's brains from saying this is my fighter to this is a multi-crew gunship that's a mini hammerhead. A hammerhead that can go into places. It's the blockade runner from Star Wars. You know, it's the Corellian Corvette. It has that kind of profile. It should be used like that as a civilian version of a gunship. Something that militia would throw together, would use in a pinch when they need it. You know? How's spacesuit fit in the Connie lockers? That's another question, is they need to update those lockers too. Like there's a lot of that interior stuff. If CNE is compatible to Tesla SpaceX, I think there's different motifs. Pioneer is the Falcon Starship, Mustang is the Model 3, Nomad is the Cybertruck, etc. Maybe what CIG is going for. 100%, the Nomad is the Cybertruck. I was going to say that, let's talk a little bit about lore before we go into the Nomad. So, Consolidated Outland. I think I just 3K'd. Consolidated Outland is run by Silas Kerner. So Silas Kerner is the heir of the Kerner family fortune. The Kerners ran the largest farm on, I want to say Bremen, but I'm going to, Rytef, I think is what it is. Yeah, Bremen. Silas Kerner is the descendant of the system's most wealthy original homesteader. So, let's go into a little bit of backstory about why Consolidated Outland is important. So, Bremen was discovered in 2441 by a legendary explorer. And the UNE was sold, the explorer sold the rights to the UNE because he found the system not really remarkable. But they managed to turn it into one of the planets, which is Bremen 2, known as Rytef, into a agricultural world. That's okay. It's a farm world. That's great. But fast forward to the First Tavaran War. Food shortages are a problem. A lot of the food and resources are going to fight the Tavaran on the front, and as a result, they need more food. So the UE's looking around for places that they might be able to incentivize larger growing, and here we have a small planet run by a backwater family called the Kerners, who control this very, very agricultural rich world. They start pumping money into that place, and suddenly all of the foodstuffs become the staples for the empire. Or, well, at that time it was just the UPE, but it becomes a staple for the entirety of humanity. Then Mezzer comes into play. When Mezzer comes into power at the end of the First Tavaran War, Retiff and Bremen start to decline in popularity because there's no need for that emergency foodstuffs anymore. So, because it's a backwater world that nobody cared about, and it's filled with farmers who all lost their jobs because of that, they blamed it on Mezzer. It becomes the headquarters for the resistance against the Mezzers. It's literally inconsequential. Nobody thinks about it. It's Nebraska. I'm sorry if anyone's from Nebraska, but you're boring. Cornhuskers, really? It's the Nebraska of the UEE. You know about it. You heard about it. You may have known a couple people there, but it ain't exactly New York City. No, it's not an industrial brand. I'm going through the chat real quickly. Nebraska speaks with feelings. I will say I've never been to Nebraska myself, but so I'm completely prejudiced. I will personally do an apology tour if someone takes me through all of Nebraska's sites. But like Nebraska, it's filled with people who are very passionate about their own livelihoods, and so the one thing you don't mess with is corn subsidies in Middle America, because they will eat you alive, because it is their livelihood for many of them. So imagine if you just took away, if you look at Kansas and Nebraska and those corn states, and if you took away their subsidies, they would revolt. They would burn the place to the ground. And that's kind of what they did, but they didn't do it openly. They kind of let it simmer. So a lot of resistance movements set up in Bremen because it's boring, because it's backwater, and because there's a lot of sympathies for the resistance in that group. It also meant that most of the civilians involved in Bremen were very, very good at fighting because they had to become reliable, self-reliant. Thus becomes the origin of what's called the Bremen Defense Force, which is the most iconic militia in the UAE. They are the best of the best of the best human civilian corps. In fact, the Super Hornet was built specifically for the Super Hornet was built specifically for the Bremen Defense Force. They built that variant for the defense forces and gave it to them. It's become almost like a nod whenever a new civilian civilian-oriented combat ship comes out. The manufacturer almost always gives a couple of them to the Bremen Defense Force because they're just that good. I'll have to do a video on them in the future. So you've got a very passionate group of individuals who are very anti-authoritarian, and they're very good at using guns. However, their crops are not very reliable. Even after the end of the Mezzer era, and with the rise of things like Terra Mills, who bought out most of Bremen's farms and had kept them afloat, so things like Big Bennies and Pips, all of those ingredients that go into making those foods come from Bremen. So tip for you traders out there, if you're looking for good foodstuffs, go to Bremen. That's where you get them cheap. Their economy is kind of in the dumps. And so that's where Silas Kerner comes in. Silas Kerner he's the heir of the family fortune, and his idea is to modernize Bremen. He needs to bring Bremen into the future. And so he takes that frontier, rugged, individualistic spirit that is the hallmark of people from Bremen, and he decides to found Consolidated Outlands. And at first, the Consolidated Outlands just did modifications. If you have the Hornet upgrade kit to the F7A from the F7C, that's actually Consolidated Outland. They're the ones who made that officially in lore. They're the ones who made that upgrade kit because they make aftermarket upgrade kits. At least that's where they got their start. Once they got the handle of that, they started making their own ships. They made the Mustang. The Mustang was designed exclusively to spit in the eye of RSI. And it comes with that rebel Bremen spirit. So when you see, in fact, let's watch that video real quickly so I can show you what I mean. We'll watch the updated one because I like that one better. Okay. Let's pull this up real quick.
It all started with a dream. A need to challenge the conventions of our time. To look at the well-worn path ahead and decide to take another route. What is life if not the culmination of all decisions we've made and the roads we've traveled? We decide to seek out the unknown. Or take a stand against the unjust in the universe. We are all chasing who we are, who we want to be. Which begs the question, why choose it all? Introducing the all-new Alpha, Beta, Delta, Gamma. 2948 Mustang. Dream redefined for the modern era.
Can you get that in that commercial? There's a reason why they do these commercials the way they do. It's because they're informed by lore, and a lot of the stuff is the background seed. So you can see that that's that kind of very much a rebel spirit. Hey, Octoploppy, thank you so much for that Prime sub, by the way. Shots and cheers in chat, guys. Let's get some more beers in there for you guys. Gets the Caterpillar and an MSR. Nice, yeah. I've heard the mixed messages on whether the Nomad will refine in the future with additional packs specifically for. Can you elaborate on this, please? No, there's no evidence that it's going to be a refinery as well. All of the concept images for the refinery looked more like MISC. So that is one of those things that I was wrong about, but it was mostly because I didn't think that CIG would have the cojones to release two of the same ship, which they did. They usually don't, but they did. So formed now. That's the voice you hear in Port Olisar is Silas Kerner. Yep. The farmer's pickup truck with missiles. Yeah. And so that's what you have to think and you have to understand is that Silas Kerner is redneck Elon Musk. He is 100% country boy Elon Musk. You can even hear it in his accent, his kind of like almost Central Texas accent. It's very all right. Not really banjo. It's more Austin, San Antonio, Dallas-ish. Not so Dallas. It's a little southern Dallas, but Matthew McConaughey, very similar to Matthew McConaughey. How did they get hover landing gear? What do you mean hover landing gear? For the new people in chat, can we get your beautiful lecture on why the Redeemer is cheap in hell? Soon, White Wolf, soon. South African? Not really South African. I mean, he has a bit of the Boer accent in there, but it's definitely not Elon. He's trying to do Elon Musk, but being Texan, you know? Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll pull that up as well. So we can, because like all of the videos, all of the commercials are, here. It's 5 minutes long, so we won't watch all of it, but I definitely want to show you guys some of it.
Stars. They've become such a familiar backdrop of our day-to-day life that it's easy to forget what they mean. That one. That little dot right there. That's Bremen. This one over here, that's Saul. Think about that. Just a handful of these dots represents the breadth of human expansion. Another handful, and you've got Bannon, Jean, even Van Duel systems. That's everything we've ever known. Every piece of art, every life, ever, right there. In 2 handfuls of dots. And that means there's so much more to find. Behind every one of those points of light is a story waiting to be discovered. Now, in our distant past, it was the province of governments to explore and understand space. The simple launch took resources and money beyond the capacity of even the largest companies. But then RSI introduced the Zeus, and suddenly regular people were able to explore our solar system, allowing an unprecedented amount of knowledge to be discovered. When Nick Croshaw discovered the first jump point, the modified scanner array that allowed him to search for jump points were far too expensive for the civilian market. But once that technology was refined and open to the public, what happened? That's right, an era of expansion that led us from this to this. And that's how it's always been. If you look at all the great eras of human history, whenever innovation has put technology in the hands of the people, it has heralded sweeping discoveries. Because power in the hands of many will always exceed the power of few. So while we can now discover new jump points and systems, there's still one hurdle that remains. That's what to do once you discover a new planet. Because right now, only the largest corporations can terraform and establish settlements. Easy. We haven't simplified terraforming yet. No, I'm
love
here
that.
to announce
Yet.
something equally exciting. Albert Einstein, the man who redefined human understanding of the universe, he once said, "The person who follows the crowd will usually go no further than the crowd. The person who walks alone is likely to find himself in places no one has ever seen before." An insightful sentiment meant to inspire thinkers and creators to push the boundaries of their understanding. It was, after all, said 1,000 years ago, before humanity had left our homeworld. So clearly he was speaking metaphorically. Today, as I just showed you, the unknown is out there, waiting to be discovered. For those that are looking for those places that no one has seen before, they are faced with a daunting challenge. What do you do when you get there? Up until now, it's been the province of governments and corporations to pave the way for sustained habitation. The power has been in the hands of the few. What if I offered you the ability to build your own settlement? To bring civilization to the most untamed of frontiers? A colony ship in the truest sense of the word. And I'm not talking about just transporting people, no. I'm talking about an all-in-one solution designed to build modular structures based on your needs. Capable of building a farm or a habitat, a trading post or a mining operation. I mean, that'd be crazy, right? Allow me to introduce the Pioneer.
I'm streaming on Twitch as well.
With that, let the new age of colonization begin.
So, just so you guys know, you guys see what I'm saying when I talk about that is Bremen. I say Bremen, but he said Bremen. So that's Bremen. That is the attitude of Bremen. They are anti-authoritarian individualists who hate corporations. They hate corporations. They hate the government. They want to be left alone. The old man with a shotgun on the porch of the farm, just wanting the bank to go the fuck away. That is Bremen to a T. So that is what Consolidated Outland is designed to be. It's designed to be a rebel. It's designed to be different. For those who are in Texas, it's very Austin. I'm going to do this. Why? Because it's different. Because I don't care. It's a very much, dare I say, like leftist idea. I guess it's a combination of like libertarian and it's an anarchist and a little bit of more of like, it's more of it's free trade, but it's also very much not involving the government but not even involving corporations. Like hate of corporations. I guess it's more libertarian in its beliefs. Whenever I say libertarian, some libertarian crawls out of the woodwork being like, that's not libertarian. It's like, it's not what I mean, guys. Like political triangles, all right, or political crosses. So yeah. So when I'm talking about all you need is capital class ship. Shin, kind of. It's a capital class ship, but it's a capital class ship that doesn't cost a fortune. It's the way that someone like Silas Kerner would say is that no one buys a colony ship unless you have a colony. You know, no one's going to buy the Pioneer because you want to do it solo. If you're building an outpost, you're building it for a family or multiple families. You're building it for a small corporation. His point in his speech, and which is very much kind of true with the Bremen lifestyle, is it's not about it's trying to make it as accessible as possible. His original example in that speech, the Zeus, which allowed for people to fly. It still was only for rich people, but people could still do it. And over time, though more and more common people had access to the Zeus and had access to space. His point is that this Pioneer may only have access to very specific individuals or groups of people, but it's no longer exclusively the domain of major corporations and the government. That was his point about the Pioneer. I was going to say the big thing about Silas Kerner, and this is one of those things that a lot of people misunderstand in terms of politics, and the way what I use in terms of politics is wanting large corporations to no longer have power is something that both libertarians and people on the left tend to favor similarly, which is why, generally speaking, when we talk about politics, we talk about the spectrums of social and economic. So most like left-leaning people in the United States are libertarian, a little bit libertarian, more on the libertarian scale of things when it comes to economics, because they want the government to be involved, but they want the government to act as the mediator between corporations. They want it to essentially keep the market as it is, but have some regulations in place where the market fails. Most even like super left, like America doesn't have communists. Like they are there, but they're not very big. Most people who you see is described as like left in America are more center left in the rest of the world. So America has a little bit of a weird juxtaposition. So it's the reason why I always have to kind of like explain. It's like when I'm saying these things, what I mean is libertarian in terms of economic beliefs versus authoritarian or control or authoritarian. And then you've got left and right spectrums in terms of like social stuff. So I'm an authoritarian. I really do. I hope he introduces the Nomad just like that. I mean, you can disagree, but yeah, it's like how far left we going? Oh yeah, 100% Phantom. That's the thing, is that Silas Kerner and Bremen are very anti-authoritarian and very anti-big business, but Silas Kerner himself is a wealthy billionaire. The man is the richest man on Bremen. He inherited all of his wealth, which is why I say he's kind of like a redneck Elon Musk. He's a country boy, the country version of Elon Musk. He inherited his wealth. He has some noble ideas for what he wants to do for the universe, but in the end, he's in many ways just mimicking what the other big companies are by saying, I am not those companies. We're different. Which is kind of cool. I like that. It's definitely life, art imitating life in this kind of situation, you know. So what does the Nomad look like, an alien ship? It's hard to say. Maybe because they just wanted to be different. Every single design from Consolidated Outland is different. I would say that likely the style guide for Consolidated Outland is less to do with its shape and more to do with its less to do with its shape language and less to do with the shape and more to do with the language. Because if you look at the Nomad and you look at the Mustang, you can see that they're built out of the same philosophy. Lots of hard, like not hard angles, but angles which are rounded off. A lot of like and if you even look at this in the Pioneer, they're all very rounded but angular, you know, in terms of their design. Yeah, they're rounded but angular, and that's that's very much the same. That's very much in its kind of thing. But each design is different. The Pioneer looks nothing like the Mustang, unlike the Drake ships. All Drake ships are just the Cutlass. And it's so much a joke that it's a joke in verse, that every single ship that Drake makes is just the Cutlass, but a different format. Listen, I'm not asking any questions, and I like Consolidated Outland's aspirations. All right, I said that earlier. I think no one didn't feel so. Later, Black Tuburn. Yeah. It's definitely a Cybertruck. It's if you look at it, if you understand the idea that Consolidated Outland is Tesla meets SpaceX in the Star Citizen universe, it's the Cybertruck. That's why it looks angular and looks so different and looks more alien, is because it's intentionally trying to look like weird, like the Cybertruck. It looks nothing like any of the other Tesla vehicles. So ED or Nomad Sky. That's a good one. Stop grasping at straws. It's not alien tech, guys. I don't know, like, where people are getting the alien tech idea. They say it's like the hover. I'll look at it real quickly just to see if I can't. Let me go back to YouTube and see if I can't find it. I'll just turn the music off so you can do this, but yeah, it's very asp in its shape. And that's the back. Let's back it up a little bit. That's the open back truck of it, but it's also got a top cover for it. So it's not completely open. There's still like a little bit of a shroud on top of it. It doesn't look bad. It looked great in Elite Dangerous. I don't know why it wouldn't look bad in Star Citizen. Here's the thing. CIG is known for doing this. It's not something new. CIG does this a lot. They differentiate. They take a lot of inspiration from other ships. For instance, the Reclaimer is the what's the ship? It's the ship from Aliens. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the ship from Aliens. The Vulture is the Venture. Very similar. The Nostromo. The Nostromo. Yeah, the Nostromo. Why am I blanking on it? I want to say Talon, but that's the wrong one. The Banu. I'm blanking on the name of it. It's AKA Mother, yeah. Take inspiration from The Mandalorian, please. Why? They took inspiration from Star Citizen. I don't think the Avenger, it's the death of the Avenger starter. It really depends on the price tag of it. I think if it's $70 or $80, then no, it's a 300. The Avenger is still good for its price, but thank you so much for that Prime there, Aquitus Saint. We stopped streaming on Sundays and doing some other stuff. We changed things around, so a lot of our subs dropped, but so yeah, you can see the back area right there for it. But if you look at the angular design, let me back it up a little bit. You see the angular design. It's very similar to the Mustang in terms of its angular design. I don't know where the hover thing comes in. I guess it's towards the end here where they have the hover thing up there, right? Yeah, here. No, that's not alien tech. That's just a rotational. It's a 2-axis thruster. That's all it is. And those are weird, but essentially it's no different from how the Mustang used to land on its wings. It's just like evoking similar style to that. Yeah, and hover tech's been known in human space forever. This is not alien tech, guys. This is stuff that's been in human stuff forever. And those are missiles. Missiles, those are the missile pods. This is just 2-axis. The freaking Cutlass has those. This is not hover tech. Those are the landing skids. It's just landing skids. And it's like, oh, why is it floating? It's like, why is it floating? Because they didn't get the mesh properly. Because it's a work in progress. They haven't gotten it to work properly yet. That's because they haven't touched it properly. This is called the Nomad. I think it's just because it's a work in progress, guys. I don't know if it's anywhere that says that it's got hover stuff. If it's a hover, it's a hover. But again, if it's hover technology, Drake's had hover technology forever. It's the same thing. It's not alien. They say it in the video. Okay, let's listen to it and see if they say it.
Like, you're gonna notice that it's never touching the ground. It's always hovering, which is super cool, super unique. Then you've got this hatch on the side of it, which has this fully articulating ladder that just kind of pops out.
So it's right. It is a hover. But why? Why not? The question is do I need to go over who Silas Kerner is again, guys? It is the Asp Explorer Astra. That's why. Yeah, Drake has the hover technology too, so it's definitely not new. I think you do. What do you mean I think you do? It's the same tech as the Idris uses to store its cargo, but in reverse. Yeah. Okay. There we go. No, you probably won't be able to use it as a hover tank. What was the name of that Banu ship? Not Banu ship. I'm sorry, Tavarin. That's Talon. The other one, the one that's supposed to have also a mode where it could go into hover mode. Prowler. Thank you. Yeah, the Prowler actually was designed as a dual purpose hover vehicle and flying vehicle. So it's not something, it's not out of question in terms of how that functions. Will the ship flip over and allow me to prior the cargo? Maybe. I don't know. A few minutes before he thought he. Okay, let's go with a few minutes before. Let's go back and listen to it.
You're gonna see, I think the most striking part of it is the fact that it's treated a lot like our Xi'an bike. You're gonna notice that it's never touching the ground. It's always hovering, which is super cool.
He says it's treated like the Xi'an bike.
Cool, super unique. Then you've got this hatch on the side of it, which has this fully articulating ladder that just kind of pops.
You know, but it could be. It could be that it's part of the Huxa agreement. For those of you who don't know, let's back it up a little bit more. For those of you guys who don't know, there's been a trade agreement for the last several years in Star Citizen lore called the Huxa, or the Human Xi'an Trade Agreement. The Huxa is very controversial. A lot of people don't like it, especially the centrists don't like it, because they tend to not like any aliens, because they think it's all a plot to overthrow humankind. But in this case, the Huxa agreement essentially allows for trade between human and Xi'an, the human and the Xi'an, for technology, allows Xi'an to set up businesses in human space, hence the Apoa ships that you're seeing sold to humans for the first time. That's part of the Huxa. Several of the rest stops are actually owned by the Xi'an, too. A lot of the rest stop stations are like Xi'an chains. So it could be. There's nothing in the lore that says that isn't the case. But it's as said before, The Prowler has a hover mode. It was supposed to have a hover mode and a flying vehicle, so that's not too out of case. And we're talking about Silas Kerner here, guys. This is the Crusader Consolidated Outlands. This is CNOU's version of the Cybertruck. And if you look at the Cybertruck and you look at any of the Tesla models before them, they look very different. And there's a purpose for that, because it's a style choice. So this is definitely an interesting style choice if they decided to go with that. It's a plot to overthrow us. Oh, yeah, we'll probably see it. I'll definitely do a video on it next week. Doing an IAE video. I gotta get that out by Saturday. Or I gotta get it out tomorrow, in all honesty. But luckily, I get home from work tomorrow early, so. As far as suspension goes, anti-grav is not a bad idea. As far as landing on hill goes, well, I know what happens with the Noxer Dragonfly. Well, you also have a double thing, because you also have the thrusters. The thrusters should keep it hovering as well, so it should keep it from moving. Is it the best starter cargo until the Hull A comes out? I think possibly more. It's a baby Cutlass, guys. This is the hybrid between the Titan and the Cutlass. This is that medium, that halfway point that I've actually thought about. I think I've even mentioned this is something I've wanted to see for a while. Is this kind of range, something between the $40 to $50 ships and the $100 ships that fits for more of a progression minded, because this would be something, for instance, if you wanted to go. If you had a Titan and you wanted to go to a Cutlass, you don't really need to with this. You can go to this instead and have essentially the firepower of a 300 with a cargo bay of a half the cargo bay of a Cutlass. It's a really good deal. What makes it different is that the Cutlass, or all of the 300s and the Buccaneers and all of those ships, are going to outgun this thing like crazy and fly circles around it. But it's definitely going to be able to. This thing will probably swat flies when it comes to the starter ships. The Avenger is probably going to go head to head with and do pretty good damage to it. That's the thing. Everyone's been saying, Paul, you say that this is going to be the next smuggling ship, but it's going to be hard to smuggle through open, lol. No one cares in 311. If you're smuggling, also, why are you anywhere where other people can see you? Are you just stupid? Is that it? If I'm smuggling this thing, you ain't gonna see me. And you seeing me is the last thing I'm going to be worried about. I'm going to be busting ass out of there. I don't want to be near you if you come near me. You work for New Deal. Here's the other thing I'm going to say. Don't buy this ship. I hate to say that because I don't want CIG to hate me for it. I'm not saying he's not going to sit here and say like this ship is terrible. Never buy it. I'm saying like this ship is like designed for an in-game purchase. This is 100% an in-game goal for starters. This is designed for people who are just starting out. If you have somebody who's a friend who really wants to be a transport person, but wants to have some options to do other things like exploration or fighting, this is the ASP, you know? And for anyone who knows Elite Dangerous, like Beta Backer Elite Dangerous played thousands of hours that thing. ASPs are amazing. Those are the things you get, after you get out of your flying cheese wedge, after you get out of the Sidewinder. Well, I guess, yeah, it's the ASP. It's definitely the ASP because the Cobra is a combat ship. Same with the Viper. So yeah, the ASP. Go with the ASP because the ASP then expands out into more of the cargo thing. You can go from the ASP to other ships as well, but it gives you a little bit more flexibility, and it's also you can also get it as more of an explorer too. So it's still expensive. It's still super expensive. Like if it ends up being $80 or $75, $80 with the starter package, that's premium. I think you're getting more bang for your buck if you're buying it with actual cash. But at that point, just get a cutlass. Like it's only a few dollars more expensive, and it does everything that this does, but better, and has more cargo space. It's a good ship. It's a fantastic ship, but it is definitely a verse ship, not a backer ship, if that makes sense. It's too close to the Cuddy for purchasing purposes. It's like baby's first Outlaw ship. Exactly, yeah. LTI token. It's an expensive LTI token, but yeah, it's an LTI token. You technically could use the ASP for every role in Elite Dangerous. It does some things better than others. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like it's. I used to say that the ASP and the Cutlass were the same thing. Now this is not only is it look like an ASP, it is the ASP. It's the ASP for Star Citizen. No. The only reason is not the kitchenette. It's the Netflix and chill couch. Come with me back in time to when the Mustang Beta was known as the Bangstang, a title that I bestowed upon it and then spread to the entire community. I 100% invented that. Sort of. A friend of mine invented it, and then I told him I was going to spread it. So let's do this. Here we go. So here's the original beta. The bed is over here to the right. This is the kitchenette. You had a little fire extinguisher, and this was the bathroom. You could climb onto that couch back there. This little thing would retract, and there's a little screen right here where you could watch stuff. We used to call it the Netflix and chill couch. This is the thing that made it be called the Bangstang. It has a makeout couch on it. Come on, guys. It is totally the Bangstang. And then they turned it to the Prison Stang. They removed it. They removed all the personality from it. They just sucked it out, and then they just disposed of it. And, you know, they made this unique, interesting ship into just, But now, they brought it back. They brought back the Bangstang, baby. They brought back the little pull out shagging, you know, like sofa there, you know. And here, let me hold on, let me see if I can get back to that. Ignore all the porn.
Retro thrusters. Cargo is, and if there is no cargo, you can kind of see out into space. From there, you can also control where your cargo bed is. Ottoman that slides into the countertop.
Boom! Boom!
That way, if it's not in use, you have a lot more space in the area. When it is in use, it'll kind of pop out and present itself to you, and just hop right over, take a seat, whatever, have a meal, pull it straight out of the microwave, whatever you want to do with it. And then moving forward into the ship, that leads.
Boom! Oh yeah. That couch was not meant for two people. Couch was meant for one person. The seed goes in and out. The seed goes in and out. Why am I blanking on his name? He's one of the guys from the contest. Elwin. Yes, Elwin. The seed goes in and out. This is the Nomad. Yeah, that was the Nomad. That's the new ship. They have it. The new Inside Star Citizen has that there. So the Reliance series is getting absolutely no love. Well, thank you so much for them biddies. You've helped me feel better about the ship. No problem. Side piece. Original beta was better. Oh yeah. Yeah, we used to call it the Bang Stang. The reason why I called it the Bang Stang was because it was part muscle car, part shaggin' wagon. The Bang Stang. And the fact that it was the bang Stang, that's what it was called. This has aspirations of the beta. So I'm going through some of the settings real quick. Entering solely from the cockpit is annoying. Yeah, it's nice to have that as well. Ships can hit a lot of asp. Well, bang, okay? I got a new name for it. Gotta know it. It's the Naughty Nomad. The Naughty Nomad. New name. Let's see if we catch on. New nickname. The Naughty Nomad. So they reclassified the Deemer to a pure gunship and then switched it to a Valkyrie loaner. Mixed messages. Oh, that's because there's really no pure gunships. I mean, let me put it this way, Micker. Would you prefer to have, for Redeemer owners, I don't know who you are. I apologize. I'm about to go on a tirade. But for you Redeemer owners, would you prefer to have the Connie or the Valkyrie as a gunship? Because that's the only other pure gunship in the same range is the Connie. You want a Connie loaner? There's nothing in the same weight class that's even close to a gunship. The Valkyrie is the same weight class-ish, so. Who misses their prison cell? The Not Nomad. I like that, the Not Nomad. Naughty Nomad. Travel around the galaxy, meet interesting alien creatures, and bang them. I shall buy one and name it Kirk. The James T. Kirk. Yeah, the Valkyrie's more of a dropship, but the original Redeemer was a dropship gunship combo, and then they made it less of a dropship and more of a gunship. But someone in the Twitch chat said that they gave the loaner for the Redeemer is now the Valkyrie, which is like, but it's not a dropship anymore. So it has the guns, not the missiles. Yeah, I get it, but I mean, like the only other thing that's classified as a gunship in terms of the Matrix Why am I blurry all of a sudden? There we go. Excuse my camera. I'm going to try to screw with it a little bit. There you go. I'm kind of fuzzy. What's wrong with you? No, what's wrong with you? I'm perfectly fine. What are you wrong? What's wrong with you? Call it femship instead. Well, bang, okay? Call it the shepherd. Yeah. That could also work as well. The shepherd. Instead of an oddly named refinery, I'll give you that. Yeah, for sure. Thanks, unsolicited QA. We're talking a little bit about the Nomad because that's the other thing. If I do another update video for 312, there likely won't be any kind of major mechanical changes from 311 to 312, but I'll definitely kind of talk a little bit more about like my philosophy when it comes to smuggling and why I think it's important and why I think the Nomad is actually the best smuggling ship in the verse, at least for 311. It might end up being a really good ship down the line. We'll see, but it's got the firepower. It likely has the speed. It has the like long-term capabilities. If it has the fuel resources, if it has the fuel consumption, like if it sips fuel, then it's perfect. Like you need a ship that's fast, fuel efficient, and has a lot of defenses, and has 3 shields on it apparently. So yeah, 3 shields is pretty freaking good. Yeah, three size 1 shields is pretty freaking good. It's better than the Cutlass. The Cutlass only has 1 size 2. And I know it's not perfect 1-to-1, but usually a size 2 shield is 2 size 1 shields, about the same. But with 3 size 1 shields, that makes it really tough. Plus it looks like it has 3 size 3 gimbaled weapons, which is pretty good. Probably could, I don't know if you could replace the top with a size 5, but you could, maybe like a fixed size 5. It makes it pretty dangerous. I don't think it'll handle like a potato. I think the ship will handle better than the Cutlass does. I don't think it'll handle much better than any better than it'll handle better than an Aurora, worse than a Gladius, worse than a Cutlass. You know. Oh, it comes with 3 gimbaled size 2s. Okay, that's fine. That's a little worse than the Avenger. I heard them say 3 size 3 gimbals. I'm like, damn, son. Okay, that's a 300i right there. I can see this falling in the $70 range then. Hey, Toxic Pig, thank you so much for that 26 months. Are we hyping? Or are we in the hype cycle? Yeah, we're back up in the hype cycle. Everything's good with Star Citizen. It'll be 2 or 3 weeks after the IAE is over before we all hate Star Citizen again. So it's okay to like Star Citizen. There's definitely a gap in the fleet for it, and there's definitely a gap in terms of the ships, because this is almost the first ship that I would say is purely designed as an aspirational ship, as a ship that's designed for you to achieve, rather than being a ship you purchase. Because again, there's no real reason to buy this unless you're a starting player, and only if you have the cash. You know, I wouldn't necessarily say take this over the Avenger Titan, because the Avenger Titan has more firepower. It offers a little bit more flexibility because of its firepower. But if you're a mostly non-combat player, if you want to be a smuggler or a trader, and you want to do a little bit of exploring, this is better. It can hold a Cyclone. It's better for your what you need as a player who wants to be a little bit more jack of all trades. The Avenger is not a bad starting purchase, and you could probably get that as a combo pack. But I think a lot of people saying that, yeah, this is the new one that they'll recommend. It's like, kind of, yeah, I could see that. But again, we're still talking about like a $75 purchase. It's not cheap. That's, in Australian and Canadian terms, it's like $100, which is, oof. For a while again, yes. The info is live on Urkel. Yeah, they data mined it a little bit. I'm talking you into it. Listen, and I'm going to say this again. The Nomad is not a ship that I would necessarily rush out and purchase. If you have credit, why not? But it would be something that when it comes into game, when you can buy it in game, 100% I'd get it. Like this is almost a ship I would get if I was a trader, just to have. And it is apparently its size. It can fit in an 890s hangar. The Nomad can fit in an 890 hangar. 24 cargo units. It can fit in an 890 hangar. What do you want? Like, 100% must purchase for players who have 890s. If you're a cargo player and that kind of stuff. Yeah, the new Star. We're talking about this.
Leads you into the cockpit. So once you hop onto that seat and it takes you into your dashboard view, you have a pretty good.
Overall, I think it's a great ship. This is something you probably want to really look into.
Nomad, baby. And also, if it's not obvious, this wraparound console that he was talking about.
Has paint in front of you, which has your HUD and all that stuff. I think it's really cool. In addition to that, we've got.
This is 100% a reference to the Dragon. The Dragon 2s originally have, I think the Dragons do. The Dragon capsules that NASA uses, has almost the exact same design for its things. It's got like basically one giant screen that the astronauts can tap onto them. The original one had basically wraparound screens for all the controls. This is, again, space. This is Star Citizen's version of SpaceX meets Tesla. Oh yeah, you can see the shields thing right here. You can see the 1, 2, 3 for the shields and the alarm. There's an alarm? Engines left and right, off and on. You can control the individual engines. Hover. Target, door, tracers. TRCS, I should say. Weapons, 1, 2, 3. It has door buttons on the left side. Door, yeah. Lock and open. Not individual doors, but yeah. Do I see an eject cargo seat? There's an eject button right here. Yeah, cargo bay. Eject. There's a cargo bay eject button right here. So yeah, there's an eject cargo. So for those of you being like, well, it's going to be hard to smuggle with an open top, I'm going to ditch it. And when the cops find me, I'll be like, what are you talking about? We saw you had illegal cargo. What illegal cargo? I don't have any cargo. What are you doing? I'm out for a drive. What do you want? You got no evidence. Ain't no evidence there, Space Copper. I think there's size 3 hard points with two gimbaled size 2s, yeah. Wonder if there'll be a CNOU complete pack at the anniversary. I wouldn't doubt it. I'm really warming up to it, but yeah, in-game purchase for sure. Kind of like the Mustang Beta was once and is known as now as the Bang Nomad. No. We don't call it the Bang Stang. We don't call it the Bang Nomad. We call it the Naughty Nomad. The Naughty Nomad. Spread it around. Tell your kids. Tell your kids. Tell your friends. Hey, kid. This is the Naughty Nomad. Oh, geez, thanks, mister. It's Star Trek reference too. TNG era shuttles had a lot of screens like that. That's true. Which I think is where the Dragon capsules got their original designs from, was cribbing from TNG. But again, you know, CNOU is SpaceX, is this versions of SpaceX and Tesla. Maybe it could fit so many rocks in it. It's the Nomad. Ouch. Ouch. Monads. The monads. There we go. Dash cams are not 2950s thing, apparently. Listen, we're talking about distances of several hundred kilometers. Can you find me a dash cam that can give you a clear picture at several hundred kilometers? Boo. How much AUC do you think this will be? Well, if it's in the same range as the other ships, currently the Cutlass is 1.3 million, and the Titan is 70 million, 70 to 75 million, not 75 million, 70 to 75,000. No, 750,000 numbers. 750,000. So I would expect it to be more than the Titan, less than the Cutlass. So probably somewhere around 1 million, maybe 900,000 would be my guess for the basic starter pack, basic starter version. The new Hubble Space Telescope dash cam. Oh, for sure. If they can fit in the if these can fit in the 890, it 100% should be able to fit in the Crucible. We don't even know the size of the Crucible anymore. It's probably gotten bigger. Welcome back to my Monad. Monad. There we go. The Monad. I like that. That's better. Instead of the Naughty Nomad, the Monad. Perfect. Perfect. Urban Burger wins. Spread it around. Hey, Real Exodus, how you doing, buddy? The Nymphomad. The Naughty Nomad. Ooh, oh, yeah. Balto Cargo is a thing in the future. This could be it'd be shit for the game, that gameplay. Oh yeah, for sure. It definitely could be. It could be that kind of like, I need to dump it, popping it back. You know? I still don't know which end of the Crucible is the front. To be fair, do you even know which end of the Banu Merchantman's the front? We get to fly in 12 and a half hours. That's true. That is true. Still bust you for the crumb of ETAM in your pilot seat? Listen, ETAM is legal. All right? It's legal in some planets. It's Widow, you don't want them to bust you in. Well, I guess it's Widow is also legal in some planets. Slam's the one you don't want anyone to bust you in. But here's another smuggler tip. Don't buy Slam. Slam can't be sold anywhere. Half of the drugs are broken. Neon and ETAM work. Widow is broken. Don't even bother trying to sell Widow. It's worth nothing. And an Altrusia toxin, ultratoxin, is good in small amounts, but it's super expensive. Marmaid. Why not skip to just a Cutlass? Here's the thing. The Cutlass is good, but this ship is a ship that you could purchase along the way and keep. Like I said, it can fit into hangars of some of the smaller capital ships, which means that you know, these ships being small means they can go in and out of places better, faster, or like more undetected, possibly even go through some jump points that the Cutlass cannot. It's also has the ability where if you can put cargo in the back, you can hold people in the back too. So it becomes an easy semi incognito drop ship. You could just like basically pop people in the back there, get into the atmosphere, and when you get close to the ground, they just pop out. It's an open. It's the Huey helicopter of Star Citizen and that kind of thing. Yeah, you can next Big Burn all day. But this is one of those few ones where I'd buy it in game and keep it, even if I was going to get a Cutlass or a Freelancer, because this could definitely be a daily driver. The thing about the Cutlass, the difference between the Cutlass and this is 20 SCU, which really isn't that much of a difference. When you're dealing smuggling, at least currently, 20 SCU is about the maximum you really need. Anything extra is just kind of nice, but it's not really required. If you're doing a normal like trading, why would you want to spend save a little bit extra money and spend more money for something that's not going to give you that much more profit? I would get this ship and then I would upgrade to like a hull B or a Freelancer Max or a Star Runner rather than a Cutlass at that point, because the Cutlass is good, but it's not really there. So the Cutlass still has its purpose. It's very much a daily driver. It has a lot more range. It's rugged. It's got a lot of cargo space, but this fits a role for people who are for very specific purposes and for that kind of more starter range as well. Has size 2 quantum drives. This I know size 1s are faster, but fuel costs more, so it's less efficient. This is a size 1 quantum drive. Yeah, it's less efficient, which means it's going to be slightly faster but less efficient, which means that you're going to be filling it up a lot more. This is almost perfectly designed to replace to be a step up from the Pisces in many ways. You could use this as a cargo lighter to kind of bring stuff back and forth or people back and forth to larger ships. This could definitely find a home in like a Kraken. A fleet of these in a Kraken would be amazing. It'd be great because they don't take up a lot of space. They can haul a lot of cargo. They have internal cargo areas. So you can kind of like go into a Kraken. Like a Kraken go into a system and they can just disperse like tiny spiders off a mama spider's back. just spread out into a system. To go pick up things or to go drop off things, and then come back to the ship and drop back in. Do you think it's a reliable ship? It may be. I can't wait to see that. I've done it before. Oh, I forgot the tractor beam also. What tractor beam? Oh, the tractor beam's on the Cutlass. Yeah, the Cutlass has tractor beams as well. That's why you run a stealth build. You can't shoot if they can't see you. Exactly. Also, the Cutlass is Drake. Ouch! It needs a hot tub module to replace the cargo grid. It definitely does. It needs a luxury module that has a hot tub on the back. Got pretty dark there for a moment. No, let's talk about the slave trade. I may be a smuggler, but I ain't gonna do that. That ain't worth it. That ain't worth the money. That ain't worth the money, honey. It has a utility mount with a tractor beam. Okay, then. Yeah, it's pretty good, then. I haven't looked up the stats. I basically looked at I heard the quotation of the 24 SCU and was just like, boop. My thoughts on the MSR not having an ejection mechanisms. Crusader is Drake, but less, but more refined, with more redundancies. It's beefier Drake. Same thing. They have a ship that's a flying gun. Yeah, they don't really have a lot of safeties. Same design philosophy. Build them big, build lots of utility in them, put a lot of safety and redundancies in them, and make them tough. But then you don't need stuff. And the Star Runner is really not designed to have escape mechanisms. It's designed to blockade run. It's designed to run info running. It's not designed to be in the teeth of combat where you're going to need to have the ability to eject. It's designed to have more of the ability to take a punch and run away. Actually, the Astropub, if the leaks are right, it has 771 liters of quantum fuel, which means you can chuck the fastest quantum drive in the game and make it across the system. Oh, that's the only one that has to be able to do that. With the fastest quantum drive, not bad. Yeah. But don't you have to refuel once you get there? I expect the Starliner to have some escape pods, but I don't expect it to be. Do you have ejection seats in passenger airplanes? Last time I saw 747 didn't have ejection seats, not even for the pilots. It's a commercial ship. They might have escape pods, but. I would expect it to have some escape pods, but I don't expect it to have ejection seats. The Star Runner is that weird thing. I would also wonder if there's going to be an ejection seat on the Ares. I would almost guess there wouldn't be an ejection seat on the Ares, though Crusader is not Drake, so they might. But it's more. Crusader is moral Drake. That's the best way of putting it. It's the more like friendly version of Drake. Chairs become pods? Probably not. There'll probably be escape pods or like you see on the 890 jump where they have like lifeboats, something like that that you can kind of jump onto, but we'll see. So an improvised SRV with cargo space and guns? Yes. What if my MSR's cargo cache is on fire and the only exit is blocked? I think there is another way out. I don't remember if it's 100% true. There's like an escape hatch you can get to. I don't remember where it is, but pay for interactive fire extinguishers. That works too. No, that was fake? Oh, okay. I got played. I haven't done an extensive look at all of the MSR yet. I have one, but I haven't gone through all the nooks and crannies yet. So one way in or out? Don't catch on fire. The Drake rule of thumb. Don't be a bad pilot. That's the get good. But it's only one way out. Well, get good. Vent the cargo bay. Fire can't exist in vacuum. Then you don't need a fire. You don't need to worry about fire. The Falcon is a safer ship than the MSR? I'm confused about the Falcon. The Hawk, you mean? Are you talking about the Falcon, the actual Falcon 9? Like the IRL? Oh, the Millennium Falcon. Oh. The Millennium Falcon and the MSR are not the same thing. The MSR is the Star Citizen's version of the Falcon, but it's not the Falcon. That was an aftermarket extension, by the way, as well, that escape pod for the Falcon. The Falcon was like a TARDIS, yeah. It has everything you need, depending on when you need it. But Han Solo couldn't respond on PO. Neither will you in a couple of patches there, Lucas. Neither will you. Burn. IRL burn. I won't hold my breath. It's been mentioned before by CIG, and I think it's definitely a goal of theirs to have people respawn at medical locations rather than the last medical place rather than the last location. Yeah, it's where its heart is in the Falcon for sure. It's the same thing. There's escape pods in the Falcon under the floor base. No, those are I thought those are just smuggling pods, or just like areas where you can smuggle stuff. If we could have playable aliens, it would be the Falcon. Okay, y'all need to go back and watch about the most famous MSR in Star Citizen lore, which is the belligerent duck, because the belligerent duck, 100%. Is an allegory. It's Star Citizen's version of the Millennium Falcon. It's even in the name. Millennium Falcon, belligerent duck. It's kind of an homage / FU. And of course, who do you have for the crew of the belligerent duck? Human outlaw smuggler named Alex and her alien crewmate named Maz. So you have Maz and you have Alex, Chewie, and Han. It's the Millennium Falcon, guys. What you have with the Mercury Star Runner is the Corellian YT, which makes Crusader Corellian shipworks, or I think shipworks. The Corellian is which also kind of makes sense. Want it, yeah. And how were the dumb citizens that helped able to find him? I'm so pissed at that. Who were? I don't know. People who wanted law and order. And not fun. No, Crusader definitely didn't make capital ships. They don't make combat ships, really. They're mostly a civilian manufacturer. I could definitely see them having made a larger carrier ship, because they did it with the Jupiter. The Jupiter was their first large carrier ship. But before that, they made shuttles, essentially Pisces, but designed to carry, I think, people rather than cargo from place to place. And after they started making those shuttles, they needed to kind of expand a little bit more. They had problems with shipping, and so they decided that they already have all of the crew, the engineers, the designers, and the equipment to make their own cargo vessels. So they just made a large cargo vessel that could carry ships. Called it the Jupiter, and they used it to carry their ships to market. And once they offloaded the ships at various ports, a lot of people saw that and was like, that looks good, I want that. I like your shuttles, and now you've made a big carrier ship? That sounds like something up my alley. And so their first real big ship after the shuttles was the Jupiter. And that led on from the Jupiter to the Starliner. They also made some early version of the Starliner before that they never really talked about. They don't have the name of it. Then you have why am I blanking on the name of the actual Starliner? The Genesis Starliner. And then after the Genesis Starliner, you have, actually, no, it's not after. It's around the same time. You have the creation of the M2 Hercules for the military. And then after that, they made the Genesis Starliner. And after they made the Genesis Starliner, they used the techniques that they used to build the Starliner to improve upon the Hercules. And it wasn't until the early 30th century, 2913, I think, 2915, when they actually made the Hercules available to the civilian market with the C2. And it was only in 2948 that they released the A2. So, but before that, the Hercules was purely military. But it wasn't a combat ship. It was designed for military purposes, for heavy starlifting, in the same vein as the Jupiter. Will the Jupiter ever be real? I don't know. I'm still waiting for the Bearcat, the Aegis Bearcat, which is supposed to be the competitor to the Hawk, to the Anvil Hawk. Now, if the bed slides out and get a bigger one, oh yeah, there we go. With Nomad. Smuggling compartments were in the main hallway by the entrance ramp. Engineering bay is completely different space. They make huge cargo. Yeah, they make big ships. The Drake Man-Bear Pig, which is just the Cutlass, but smaller. The Monad. I love it. I love it. See, I really think that Drake could have made something like the Nomad. Give it 2 seats. You climb in and out. There's no spaces, or just the space that's behind the Cutlass. Then chop the back off of the Cutlass and make it exposed to the elements, or make it not exposed like they have with the Nomad, but a separate compartment that you have to access from the outside. So you have to hit a button and it opens it up. I still would have liked that as a Drake ship, as an early, this type, hold 20 SCU. I think I actually pitched that idea a couple of months ago. So maybe CIG's listening. Oh God, why are you listening to me? Stop it. Turn off the stream right now, CIG. Don't watch this. What are you doing, Chris? Hit the stop button. Don't watch it. I don't want to give you ideas and turn this game into a 17-year-long venture. Yeah, I think they'll definitely turn the snub, or turn the command module of the Caterpillar into its own ship. The Drake Longboat, or the Drake, I had a name for it. The Drake Cocoon. The Drake Chrysalis. There you go. The Drake Chrysalis. I don't know if they make components. I don't think Crusader makes components. They mostly make ships. They never really made components in the past either. The Drake Chariot, isn't that just a toilet? The cuddy breaks up when if the cuddy breaks apart. Yeah. People thought they'd have no life after Skyrim came out. They ain't seen nothing yet. They need a Drake butterfly at this rate. I could see in a modification for a snub ship that would come, that you could buy like a module that would come with a snub ship called the Drake Butterfly, as kind of like a competitor to the Merlin. Hey Doc, how you doing, buddy? Tomorrow 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m. Should I upgrade a Gemini to an Endeavor? Yes. Now, know that your Endeavor is never going to come out, or it's not going to come out until after the game is released, but the Endeavor is so underpriced right now, it's not even funny. The Endeavor is entirely underpriced. I mean, yes, for all the modules, you're looking at nearly $1,000, but the base Endeavor is $250. Holy balls, is that underpriced? The Drake Sloop. There we go. It's not a limited. The Drake Nomad, or the Drake Nomad. The Nomad's not a limited ship. It'll be, I'm assuming 12 p.m. Pacific. So. Well, they sometimes go off of CST, so we'll see. Any thoughts on upgrading my Freelancer's Max to the MSR? Depends on the price range. If it's within your price range, it makes sense. The MSR is on the upper end of the daily drivers. You can do it as a daily driver. It's stretching it as a daily driver. It's a big ship for one person. But it's definitely one of those ships that's designed for 2, maybe 3 people on there as well. But yeah, I mean, it could definitely be done. The Max still holds more cargo. So if you're looking for pure cargo space, no. But if you're looking for like all of the amenities plus the possible info running combinations and the smuggling connotations for it, yeah, it's really good. Did they? Okay, I'm gonna have to see this. They did. They did. At least they finally admitted it. Here, I'll put it up here for you guys. Who did it better? The boy from Bremen just got my vote because the glass didn't shatter. Who liked that? Who liked that? Thank you, Taser. Okay. Hey, Stuart, how you doing, buddy? Size needs to throw something at the window now. That would be amazing if he's talking about the ruggedness of it and took out like a, oh, no. You know who should throw something at the window? Jax McCleary. It's good, but can it handle this 50 caliber sniper rifle from who makes that? Is it Gemini? I think no, it's Bearing, I think, that makes the 50 caliber, the big honking sniper rifle. Find out after this. Good to see you, man. Yeah. $100 price difference would be worth it for your gameplay. It really depends, yeah. Ideas for replacement for the Apollo. Why would you want to replace an Apollo? Do you not want to be a medical personnel? Depends on what you want to do, really. Because the Apollo is great. It's just not out yet. Bearing P6LR, yeah. Hey, Game Fleek, how you doing, buddy? I think I'm going a little bit longer than the 2 hours, but it's all right. So, for those of you guys who weren't here earlier, the plan is for the stream is we're going to be streaming tomorrow at our normal time, group streaming, going to the IAE. We're probably going to do a road trip. We're going to play around with the new ships. With other people. I'll probably hang out with Jake. If you want to come in and hang out with us, if you're a streamer or not a streamer, you just want to come and hang out. Come hang out. The original idea was a road trip, but I forgot it was the IAE. It was Friday. I keep thinking about it as next week. So we'll probably play with this, fly it around, enjoy it. See what we can do with it. But as a group, just kind of group messing around with it. But then Saturday we've got our tabletop RPG stream. Grey Topaz. It's a stompy fighty thing. It's our mech tabletop RPG, mech inspired tabletop RPG. Mecha like Gundam and BattleTech and that kind of stuff. So that episode 2 is going to be up then. We'll be doing that live. And then after that, we've got our podcast, The Captain's Table for Star Citizen. Then on Sunday, we've got our normal stream, which is starts at 10 a.m. Eastern, or 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, going for 4 or 5 hours. We'll do a giveaway that time as well. And then on Monday, we'll start that. Normally, that will be on at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, but Monday we'll be starting at noon my time, so 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and just going for a couple of hours, probably going until around this time, maybe a little later on Mondays, because Mondays, generally speaking, are going to be my last day of streaming. I'll be usually going from Thursday to Monday, or Monday, then it's complicated. I'll have that block. And then on Tuesday and Thursday, I'll also be streaming, but then when I'll be streaming for Tuesday and Thursday, it'll be in the afternoon or in the early afternoon rather than the evening, because I usually don't stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But for the IAE, we're going to have a special event for that. Hey, Pram, so thanks so much for that 27 months with Prime, man. You rock. Shots and cheers in chat. Hey, Alciner. Yeah, coming towards the end, but we're good. We usually stream starts usually about 2 hours earlier. Um, 28th of November is Perseus LTI. If they're doing the Perseus release, I can guarantee you it's not going to be flyable. It'll be a concept ship. So, because I plan and try to get the Endeavor because I got a Carrack and now I have a ship with a Gemini and Apollo. They have a large fleet. Oof. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, if you already have an Endeavor and you don't want another medical ship, think about what else you want. The MSR is like a $10 from... Okay, there we go. That's not too bad if you want to get the MSR if you don't have that. Yeah, it might be a good idea. The MSR is a good daily driver for that. Whew. You need to come on to fix my fleet for info runners. What do you think of the deal with the Starlifter? Files in the build, and they say in the Chairman's Club email that we can try it this weekend. The Starlifter? It's probably a mistake from the Star Runner, because there's no way you're going to be seeing the Starlifter in game. Maybe. Like, it could be possible, but I think the files in game are likely hollow files rather than full files. Though at one point we did see the interior of the Starlifter in the freaking file, so it could be available, but I don't know. It's not in the game? Okay. Trust Diablos. Do you debate about the IAE at the end of the convention? What do you mean, do I debate? I'll definitely talk about it. But yeah, so the only day this coming week that we'll not be streaming is Thursday, next Thursday. But we'll be streaming kind of, it's going to be a special longer streams. We'll be doing kind of giveaways all this week. We'll be playing with other streamers. I'll go yell at Loken to let me play with him. Like, Loken, let's go play. I'll badger other content creators as well, so we can go play, hang out together. So we'll do a big kind of celebration for the IAE. IAE is always good. I also have this, which I always want to bring in. I made this a long time ago, and I'm really proud of it. And I keep forgetting that I have it, so I need to overlay. Where are you? Here we go. It's my really shitty banner. I put this behind me when I'm streaming from the bar. I made this years ago, and I love it. Yeah, I wouldn't hold your oath. I definitely think the Starlifter is going to come out sooner than later. I wouldn't be surprised if it came out in March or July of next year, just because they definitely have been working on it. And unless they pull like a Banu merchantman and suddenly it falls off because they stop paying attention to it, it's on their radar. If I need help badgering Loken, I'll call you. Thank you. Jax's Bay. Okay, I have an idea. Tell me if you like it or not. I'm going to talk to other content creators and see if they can help me out with this. So, one of the things that Top Gear fans hate to admit existed at one point is a show called Top Gear USA. Top Gear USA got a lot of shit because it wasn't Top Gear, but I enjoyed it. The reason why I enjoyed it was because it wasn't Top Gear, it was a different take on Top Gear, and I think later seasons of Top Gear USA did fairly well. I don't know, I was on the History Channel, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I liked the concept. So, here's my pitch. We have Jax McCleary, who was part of Galactic Gear and then Galactic Tour and now Whitley's Guide. Hear me out. Whitley's Guide, Stanton. Just man, yeah. It got better as it went on. It found its foot a little bit more. See, like make a couple of episodes, like in-game verse kind of thing, with players doing dumb shit, like throwing a birthday party, and inside an Aurora, you know, racing in gray cat buggies. You know, I had a couple of like crazy ideas. Jousting with mining lasers with prospectors. Hot dropping the cyclones from a Nomad, yeah. Can we drop a full military strike team into this facility without anybody noticing, using only a Nomad? Come find out next time, you know. With no spacesuits, yeah, exactly. Dumb Top Gear shit, you know, that kind of thing. I'm gonna pitch it to some content creator friends of mine, see if we can't do one or two of them. The one thing that I don't think it would work, it won't work until you can get FOIP working for everybody again. Because I think when everyone can do FOIP at each other again, it will definitely be a better option. So, Top Gear USA did not have the chemistry of the British Top Gear. Yeah, it did a little. I think later seasons it did when they got a little bit better at it, but. Like Jackass from Star Citizen. Vanguard Warden. Well, Vanguard Warden is not bad. I would definitely go with instead of a Vanguard Warden, I'd go with a Vanguard Harbinger, probably, or Sentinel. The Warden is just not worth it anymore. It's not a bad all-rounder, but it's best to get the specialities. You can capture asteroids with an 890 jump hanger. It's an idea that's been bouncing in my head for a while. So with Jackson McCleary coming back in, I like the idea of having like a sister series that was running specifically to try to capture the attention of Stanton rather than the Jax and his proclivities. Bark, thank you so much, Gotos, for that 43 months. You are a very important pupper, very impressive pisser, very needy pedestrian. You rock. Shots and cheers in chat, guys. Shots and cheers. Oh, I had another idea for that Whitley's Guide Stanton thing. Who would win? A highly trained mercenary company in Auroras or us in Sabres? You know? Take the boys and throw them against like super elite challengers who are also in inferior ships. Does skill really matter the most? Find out, you know. Hey, Pickleskin. Adam 7711. Adam 711. Thank you so much for that. 4 months, it's the tier 1. Shots and cheers in chat, guys. Shots and cheers. Thank you guys for watching, by the way. I'm glad you guys were able to check us out. And if you guys only watched us because we did our smuggler video, welcome. Thank you for coming in. I'll probably be doing that update per patch now. You know, I might do a small update for 3.12, but it won't be like the guide. It'll just be more like, hey, let's talk about the ships. And because I don't think 3.12 will have significant enough gameplay changes for smuggling that will matter. But it could. And I'm glad that more people are interested in it. As as of right now, I'm looking at it. Normally we have between 490 and 670 viewers at this time for a video that I've released. We have 1.3 thousand viewers. So I'm glad you guys enjoy that. Yeah, and for those of you who don't know Top Gear, someone said like Jackass for Star Citizen. For those of you who don't know Top Gear is like Jackass with cars. It originally started as a legitimate review of vehicles, as kind of because Top Gear was around in the BBC since the 50s. I want to say it was since the 60s. So it was originally just this legitimate, like, let's take a car, let's review it, let's be very serious about it, let's run it through our experts and that kind of stuff. And over time, it expanded to be this, can we do dumb stuff with these cars? Let's do weird challenges and interesting differences. And so like Top Gear wasn't originally Jackass with cars, but it eventually became Jackass with cars. And the chemistry of the cast on Top Gear in the mid 2000s was big. So, do you think we could make a rodeo with a dragonfly? I don't know if you could have bucking dragonflies, but yeah. Grand Tour Season 4, Episode 2 next month. Nice. I like Jax McCleary. I think Jax McCleary is the best invention that CIG has done for the lore team in a long time, because I love that kind of character. And I love Jimmy. Poor Jimmy. That's who I'll do. I will cosplay as Jax McCleary. I can't do the voice, Jax McCleary here. I can't do the voice. I'll have to train myself to do the voice, but I'll definitely cosplay as Jax McCleary. Whew. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, by the way. So yeah, that was a long way of saying also stick around. We'll be having a long stream, long series of streams, long schedule for this coming week. An unusual schedule, but definitely hope to see you guys here hanging out with us, playing some Star Citizen. I'll probably do something other than Star Citizen as well. I know, blasphemy, but during that time. But I definitely want to do mostly Star Citizen to celebrate the IAE and such, and kind of get back into it. Glad you guys came join us for this lore talking conversations. All right, y'all. I think I'm going to head out. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us here at the Astropub. If you did enjoy this, hit that follow button if you haven't already done so. If you have done so, consider subscribing to us as well on Twitch, subscribing to us on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below, talk about it. Hopefully this fills in some time for those of you who are still working and need something in the background. Get the flamer, purge the heretic. Did you watch the Seaman episode? I laughed so bloody hard that one because they had Clarkson enter Vietnam on a patrol boat with Fortunate Son playing in the background. I did not see that. No. Do you remember jumping from the Starfarer with a dragonfly with a hat, cowboy hat, and country songs? Yes, I do, and I will do that again. Brother, get the flamer, purge the heretic. The heavy flamer. Speaking of that Dibbly, one of the things I want to do is I'm going to be doing a live stream tabletop simulator 40K series of games that we'll be doing possibly next week, but likely the week after that for like live versions. So if you guys like 40K and you want to see some live gameplay of 9th edition, the Crusade style of gameplay, come join us. We'll probably be playing a little bit of that. So, At least for once a day, once a week. Nothing major, but yeah, thank you guys again. Hanging out. Love you guys' faces. Like I say every time, hope to see you guys again soon. But if I don't, hope to see you someday in the black. And for you Galactic Historian fans, remember, ex Historia ad Astra.